Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about what is pull request. So on GitHub, owner is able to share his remote repository with other person, okay? And then the other person, they can copy the owner's remote repository and then they can make the changes on top of the owner's remote repository, alright? And then right now, the other person, they can send a pull request to the owner. So right now, what is pull request? So pull request is a request to ask the owner to pull the other person changes into the owner original remote repository. Alright, so this is the definition. And then right now I'm going to show you what is pull request with an example. Right now in GitHub I have two accounts. One is a Stephen Lee Yonghua account, and then the other one is a Stephen Lee 96 account. So you have to remember it. Alright, so right now Stephen Lee Yonghua is the owner of the remote repository, and then Stephen Lee 96 will copy the remote repository into his repository and then make some changes on top of it, and then Stephen Lee 96 will send a pull request to Stephen Lee Yonghua, and then Stephen Lee Yonghua it will set a pull request into the repository. Alright, so first what I need to do is that I need to create a repository in this Stephen Lee Yonghua account. Alright, and there's another thing I want to tell you is that in GitHub, if you in Google Chrome, you cannot open two GitHub accounts. So you have to use the incognito window to open another GitHub account. Alright, so in this account right now, I'm going to create a repository. Let us call it as test, and then give it a readme file. In this remote repository, I'm going to create a new file called test.py, and then I'm going to add something called developer list, and then I'm going to add the name of the developer. Since I'm Stephen Lee Yonghua, I'm going to add Stephen Lee Yonghua. Okay, and then I can say in the commit message, added Stephen Lee Yonghua as developer. Alright, I'm going to commit it. Okay, so I have one commit right now. And then in the Stephen Lee 96 account, I'm going to search for Stephen Lee Yonghua test remote repository. So this is the Stephen Lee Yonghua test remote repository. I'm going to click into it. So this Stephen Lee Yonghua test remote repository, I'm going to copy it, okay, into the Stephen Lee 96 remote repository. What I can do, I can click on the fork, okay. So when you click on the fork, it will start to copy the test remote repository of the Stephen Lee Yonghua into the Stephen Lee 96. So Stephen Lee 96 right now has successfully forked the test remote repository from Stephen Lee Yonghua, okay, into his remote repository. So in this test repository, I'm going to make some changes. I can click on this one, and then I'm going to add myself, Stephen Lee 96, into the repository. I'm going to type Stephen Lee 9. So I purposely type something wrong. Later I will show you another thing. So I will say the commit is added Stephen Lee 96 in developer list. I'm going to commit it. Alright. So let's say right now I have made some changes and I have tested it and it's fine in the code. And then I'm going to create a pull request, which is a request to ask the owner of this repo to pull the changes that I have made into their remote repository. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on the create pull request. So you can see over here, it says that what I'm going to do is that I'm going to move the changes in Stephen Lee 96 test master branch into Stephen Lee Yonghua test master branch. Alright, and it says that you are able to merge. There is no merge conflict. Okay. We are going to create pull request, and this is the commit message, and I'm going to say in the command section, please help to add Stephen Lee 96 in developer list. Create pull request. Alright, so you have successfully created a pull request. When I go back to the Stephen Lee Yonghua account, in the notification side, there will be a notification which is sent by the Stephen Lee 96. Notice that you can see this is the guy that has sent a pull request. You can see the picture over here. I'm going to click on it. So let's say if you are not able to see the notification, you can go to the settings and then go to the notification. you have to check this web and mobile for the participating and web and mobile for the watching. Alright, so this will send a notification when someone has sent you a pull request or when someone tag you in the conversation. Alright, so you have to check these both in order to see a notification. Okay, so let's go back to the repositories. Over here in the pull request, so you can see that this girl, she said that please help to add Stephen Lee 96 in the developer list. So this is a message that we have sent just now from the Stephen Lee 96 account. Alright, right now I want to see what is the changes that she has added. Alright, I'm going to go to the files change. In this file change, I can see this is the changes that she has added. Alright, and then you see there is something wrong. The changes that she has added is Stephen Lee 9, but it should be Stephen Lee 96. So you can comment on it and tell her that she has did something wrong. By clicking on this, you can leave a comment here. You can say, it should be Stephen Lee 96, but not Stephen Lee 9. And then you can tag his name by using @ okay, and then you can tag Stephen Lee 96. Alright, and then you can press start a review and then finish your review. Okay, so you can see after this commit that she has added, you have made a review. Alright, and then you have made a comment. It should be Stephen Lee 96 but not Stephen Lee 9, and then you have tagged her. So let's go back to the Stephen Lee 96 account, and in the notification you can click on it, and then you can see Stephen Lee Yonghua just now has commented on it. It should be Stephen Lee 96 but not Stephen Lee 9. Alright, and then you can reply, alright, I will change to Stephen Lee 96 now. Okay, so right now you have made a comment saying that I'll change to Stephen Lee 96 now. So let's get back to the Stephen Lee 96 repositories and then make some changes in the test.py file. I'm going to click on test.py and then I'm going to make changes again. So right now I'm going to type 96, correct Stephen Lee 9 to Stephen Lee 96. Alright, so let us commit it. Okay, so after you have committed, you can go back to the Stephen Lee Yonghua test, and then if you go to the pull request just now, you can see after the comment you have added a new commit which is correct Stephen Lee 9 to Stephen Lee 96. Alright, so if you go back to the Stephen Lee Yonghua account, if you go to notification, you can see there's a new notification. Alright, so for Stephen Lee Yonghua, there's a new notification saying that there's a new commit created. Okay, so after that you can click on this commit and see what are the changes that she has just added. Okay, you can see she has removed Stephen Lee 9 and then instead she has added a Stephen Lee 96. Okay, and right now you notice that it's correct already. You can go back to the conversation and you can click on resolve the conversation. So it means that you have successfully reviewed it. Alright, and then right now, since it is already correct, you can click on the merge pull request. So this merge pull request means that you are going to merge the commit of Stephen Lee 96 into your remote repository of the Stephen Lee Yonghua. Okay, I'm going to click on merge pull request, confirm merge. Okay, you can see that right now Stephen Lee Yonghua merge commit this one into Stephen Lee Yonghua master branch now. Okay, so this is the commit that you have added. And let's go to commit. You can see you have added 2 of the commit that Stephen Lee 96 has committed into your remote repository. You have merged the pull request. Alright, so this is how the whole workflow works, how Stephen Lee 96 fork the repository of Stephen Lee Yonghua and then make some changes on top of it and then send a pull request, and then Stephen Lee Yonghua accept the pull request and pull the changes of Stephen Lee 96 into his remote repository. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial.